Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Tats, and it's been a while, but we're doing another average review. But before we get into it, be sure to subscribe to the channel, turn on the bell for notifications, comment down below, throw a like, check out the other videos, and be sure to follow me over on Twitch where I give away a Steam PC game away every Friday. Just gotta be following and just gotta use channel points. So, now that we've done all that, let's get back into it. I know we haven't done an average review in a minute. So today, I'm going to be talking about the first Berserker Khazan, which honestly was a very surprising and wonderful game that came out this year in 2025. I think it was like back in April. It took me, it's probably the single game that has taken me the longest this year, only at like 75 hours. Overall, I'm going to be real right off the bat. 100% love this game. Phenomenal. I feel an empty void now that I beat it. I actually 100%ed it in one playthrough. And this game has had a lot of updates since it's released. Initially, there was no difficulty settings upon release, but now there is. So there is that to consider going into this game if you feel it's going to be very hard or you're not good at Souls games. Don't worry, there is difficulty settings in this since the update, so kudos to them for that. I'm kind of indifferent when they add that stuff in. I never changed it. I played it on the hardest and I 100%ed it, like I said. Overall, this game is phenomenal. If you like Souls-likes, it's really good, but honestly, I found it to be pretty hard. It took me a while to get in the rhythm to play this game. Right off the rip, there are 3 different play styles you can play as. You can do the Twin Blades, which is what I did and I thought was the best. You have the Great Sword, and then you have the Spear. And then when it comes into how you play into that, there is a skill tree for each weapon. So the dual swords, the Great Sword, and the Spear. And then you also have your own Spear, which has like, it's almost like you're throwable. You can upgrade that. You have other forms you can transform into, which I don't want to spoil. So a lot of skills, a lot of different moves you can go into, a lot of different ways you can customize your character and your play style. The biggest downside I have for this game was that it suffers from loot overload, much like the Neo games. And when it comes to loot overload, I struggle. I had so much loot in this game, it was ridiculous, because you'll get several of the same armor pieces with either slightly different stats or slightly different modifiers and stuff like that. So it was very hit and miss on, you know, what gear to use. In this game, you definitely want to stick with using sets. So there'll be full sets that will be the head, the chest, the waist, the armor, the legs, the weapon will give you bonus stats. So you definitely want to play into that. You don't want to mix and match your gear in this. That's why I say the loot overload really is a big hindrance. You just get so much loot that you get confused in what sets. Now you can upgrade those sets and change them out. You can change the attributes. You can augment the gear, which is really nice. But again, when it comes into the loot and the augmenting, that can get just as confusing. So right off the rip, those are my 2 biggest downfalls and where I struggled very early on in game. And very much in this game, as you watch this boss fight, this is when I struggled. There were definitely some bosses that were unnecessary skill checks where I struggled. In fact, if you watched the Let's Play, there was one boss where I won post-death because the boss was so hard. In this game, you'll feel like you're not doing any damage. If you look at here, I'm finding one of the very early bosses, and you can see that I'm barely doing any damage. Now, the purple bar is what would be like almost their key, their stamina bar. You break it. You know, you break them, you can do some vital hits. There's the spear I was talking about. In this game, there are 2 key moves that help you in battles. Reflection, which reflects their attack and does massive damage, and then there's just the general blocking. And then there's like a third one where it's like the red kanji appears and you have to reflect there and do a lot of damage. So that's just kind of like a basic breakdown of the loot, the combat, stuff like that. Overall, there's a great enemy variety, which I loved. Some of the bosses were really great. Some were very epic, and like I said, some were just unnecessary skill checks, and I was just like, what is going on here? But as I got into the late game, I just started to melt enemies because I found a solid build. Music in the game is great. There's 2 to 3 different endings, but again, you can do it all in one playthrough. That's what you're going for. You just have to search for a lot of. There's actually 15 key items you have to find to get the true ending. And then what else do we want to talk about here? Yeah, story's good, visuals good. I like the visuals. I liked how gory it was. I like how, you know, the blood's showing out there. My 3rd biggest negative, in addition to the loot overload and the gear augmentation, is there is a lot of status effects in this game, and every boss does a status effect. I think this guy was fire, but we'll just jump around so you guys can see more of it. Every boss has a status effect, and the downside was the 3rd biggest downside was, oh, I'm still fighting the boss. Go figure. I think it took me a long time to beat this boss. The status effects. Sometimes you just won't have the cleansing to reverse whatever the boss does to you. Poison and Venom were probably two of the biggest ones that I never had, but every boss fight had a status effect, and some had multiple, so that was a huge downside. What was really nice though is you could go back at any time, replay missions, do stuff like that, grind out loot for better gear and all that, which is phenomenal. You had the option to buy it too, so you had multiple ways to do it. Overall, the story was a little confusing. I mean, you know me, when I'm streaming, don't really pay attention, but this was a very good game. I had a lot of fun. At 75 hours, it felt like I played way longer, but again, we played so many games this year, everything is spread out and stuff like that. So overall, I really enjoyed this game, but is the average gamer going to like this? And honestly, I'm going to say probably not. You're going to need to be in that Souls category if you really want to play this. I think someone that's inexperienced with Souls games is maybe going to struggle coming into this just because of the combat and the loot overload. I think the loot overload is what scares a lot of people away. And to me, it's very detrimental to the game because some players don't know what to do. They might sell or dismantle some good loot. So overall, I can't recommend it to the average gamer. Good buddy of mine, military man, we follow each other on Twitch. We were playing at the same time. He's still struggling to beat this, and he plays Souls games. He's a great gamer. He's awesome, good dude. But he was way ahead of me, and then I was able to come back through and actually beat the game before him. So if you want this game and you're a Souls player, absolutely buy this. But for the average gamer, guy that works 40 hours a week, has a family, or just doesn't really have the time, it's going to be a slog to finish this game. It can be pretty tough, but it's very rewarding when you do win, you figure out the combat. I think the game still goes for full price right now, which I think is like $59. I do hope to see more from this series. If you wanted to watch any of my playthrough, I did 100% it, so all the parts are there if you need to go find something, especially late game stuff. You can see me finding items. So let me know, did you play Khazan? Did you play it on PlayStation? Did you play it on PC? Did you 100% it? And what games are you currently playing right now? We do have some more average reviews coming out. You're going to see ones for Chronos, The New Dawn, Hell Is Us, which we're going to talk about that one. And I think there's a fourth one that I need to do, but I can't remember. But anyways, I'm Tats. This has been Average Review. So if you like what you see, subscribe to the channel, come check me out on Twitch, come check out a live stream, and we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.